This is a replay of Let's Talk Nigeria on Sparkling 92.3 FM Calabar, making Nigeria better, one conversation at a time.
Let's Talk Nigeria, every day of the week from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on Sparkling 92.3 FM Calabar, your radio, your charm.
Welcome to another totally terrific Tuesday edition of the Sparkling Morning Show, and now it is Let's Talk Nigeria, where affects millions of Nigerian women, taxation and gender equity, with a focus on the challenges faced by women in the informal sector. For a while now, we've been talking tax and taxation. It's been up to 3 months, and I remember for about 2 editions now, we've been talking about the informal sector and those that the tax bracket covers. From market traders to artisans, from fashion designers to food vendors, women are the backbone of our economy, yet they face multiple layers of challenges when it comes to taxation, business growth and financial independence. Are tax policies, we will ask, designed with gender fairness in mind? Are women in the informal sector overburdened or even exploited? That's another question. And what policies can make life easier for them while still ensuring government revenue is properly generated? Well, we'll be breaking all of this down today. And with us here in the house, we have our guest for the morning. She's been putting me through the name, and I hope I find it correctly this time around. Kedei, right? Ubi. Did I get that correctly?
Yes,
thank you very much. And making a return after 2 absence, with us here is Barrister Williams Itorok. Good morning to you, Barrister. Nice to have you with us.
Yeah, good to be back.
Thank you very much.
The absence was not intentional.
Okay.
It's just that some other person should have the experience. The Tax Justice and Governance Platform is a coalition, a loose coalition of organizations and individuals. And so everybody must partake in whatever we are doing. So which is why when we do it, we also allow other people to be part of it.
Very true. Yes. Thank you very much, Barrister. And going now to Kedei, Kedei, let me ask you, let's go straight off to the point. It has to do with taxation. First off, do you believe in fairness in taxation in Nigeria?
Yes, I do. I do believe in believe in fairness in taxation. Yes, I do.
All right. Now, looking at the inclusion of women when collecting taxes, I remember. Let me go back to Barrister. Barrister, back in the days when they used to send those tax collectors to our villages, were women included, or it was just for the men? Because I remember it was just my grandfather that had 1 or 2 issues, not my grandmother.
Well, women, it was like a pay as you earn tax.
Okay.
And so most women were deemed not to be able to earn.
As at that time?
As at that time.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure it really affected women. You see, when it started affecting women was when we started having these riots, the Agbekoya riots in Abeokuta.
Okay.
And then we had the Barr women riots.
Riots for the market.
For the market.
Yeah.
And so because of the kind of taxes that were imposed on families, imposed on families. So women were part of it. but not as grand as it is now, because we have different types of taxes now. We have pay as you earn, payee.
Okay.
We have, of course, we have the VAT. Of course, you also know we have the personal income tax.
Okay.
We also have profit tax.
Whoa, you've mentioned about 4 just now.
Yeah, we have personal income tax. We have profit tax. We have value-added taxes. And we have the taxes that you pay as you earn.
That's the payee.
Yeah, the payee. And so there are other, but apart from that, there are other charges, levies, and fees, like I usually will explain. So that is why the level of taxation has become multiplied. But we keep saying that it is not the taxes that are multiplied as such, but it's the addition of the charges, fees, and levies, and the advantages some people who are privileged take.
Okay.
Especially imposing these levies, charges, and fees on especially persons in the informal sector. So that is why we are working for fair and just taxation.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister Williams. And now let me go to Kedei, right? In your opinion, how are tax policies affecting women in the informal sector, and are they fair? If we were to ask.
The tax policies do affect women to a certain extent. Women in this case, are we talking about women in the informal sector or the formal sector?
Women in general first.
Women in general. Yes. The tax policies do affect the women. In some cases, you have women who do same work like the men, and then most of them don't earn as much as the men do, but they end up still paying the same taxes like the men do. So in this case, it actually does affect the women. Then in the informal sector, it affects them also, in as much as they think they can let me use the word, run away from taxes, like he said, pay as you earn and all. Yeah. But they are also affected by taxes like the VAT. Those are indirect taxes and they can't run away from them. So this also gets to them, and then they get to pay some other form of taxes as well, where you have this multiple, you come here, there's several levies, there's several things and all of that, and then they end up paying this. So yes, it does affect women to a great extent.
Oh, okay. If you say so, because you made mention of the informal and formal sector, so would like to ask, why do many small-scale women entrepreneurs struggle with multiple taxation, just like you've mentioned?
Okay, why they struggle with them? I think a lot of them are not aware of their tax obligations. Most of them are not even aware of what they are supposed to pay, certain taxes they're supposed to pay. You're just there running your business, and different people come at different times, and then they tell you, oh, you're supposed to pay this, we are getting this for the states, we're getting this for the local governments and all of that, and without questions, because most of them will be like, they don't want the stress, they don't even want to go, like, put in the effort to try and find out which of this is this, and am I supposed to pay this, and where is this supposed to go, so they just go ahead, so they can just go ahead and do their business, without stress or anything. So I think most of them don't put in effort to try to find out, and some of them are not even aware of their tax obligations, like this is what you're supposed to pay and this is what you're not supposed to, and this goes to this or that, and then sometimes these taxes come with different names, but they are the same things, same taxes, right? They come with different names, and they don't bother.
So that's like the multiplicity in the taxation.
Yes. So there's really no push on their side to try to find out more about these things they are being asked to pay. So I think that's just it.
Okay, so I'll go to Barrister Williams then. With what Kedei has mentioned, Barrister, would want to know, how can government agencies streamline tax payments to prevent illegal levies on women who are traders?
Well, you see, let me just say something. Our intention here is to, first of all, to educate.
Yes, sir.
You see, if you look at the topic for today, it's taxation and gender equity.
Yes.
deliberately we didn't say gender equality.
Okay, so what's the difference between gender equity and gender equality?
Good. As a small boy, did you ever stand behind a fence to watch a football match?
No. We'll climb on things to watch it.
Yeah. Behind the fence, short fence, all right?
Yes, short fence.
Yeah. See, your taller brother is watching the football.
Yes.
You are struggling
to watch that
that football. So both of you are watching the football.
Okay.
That's equality. Okay? But you are struggling. Sometimes you jump to see.
Yes.
He's standing there and seeing.
Okay.
All right? That's equality. All of you are seeing the football, but at different levels. Okay? Equity. When your senior, taller brother is standing comfortably and seeing the football match, and then he gets you a stool to climb on, so that both of you will watch it at the same level. That is equity. Did you notice? Equality
and equity.
You are seeing it.
Yeah. But at a different capacity.
At a different capacity.
Yes.
Equity. He is also making it possible for you to see it
the same way he sees.
Yes, equitably.
Now I get it.
All right? Yeah. There's equality in taxation, but is there equity?
Okay. Now I get why you had to bring the analogy first.
But look, these things, there is a reason for why people don't understand policymakers, because policymakers speak policy languages. And so if you are able to speak the language of the man you are making the policy on for, I think the woman will understand the policy. The language used in policy making makes people confused.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Is it the terminologies?
The terminologies that are used.
It's the gravity of their language.
The terminologies, gravity, everything has a register. The structure, the register, everything has a register. But you need not use the register for everything that involves policies that will affect or disaffect people. So that's why when we talk about taxation, we also take time to explain that taxing is normal, because that is where development comes from. Okay?
Yes.
If you are taxed, tax is as old as government. There's a part of the Bible that say, I can't, but I know the story when the children of Israel were being attacked and they were sieged. There was a siege, and some lepers who were not allowed to go into the city.
I think it was 1 Samuel or 2 Samuel. One of
they were not allowed to go into the city, and they couldn't go to the places where where the people who were fighting them were. But eventually they said, "Look, let's just go.
Let's just go.
If they like,
because we can't get.
We can't get in.
Yeah, let's just go."
So why do they have gates?
Okay.
It's because when you bring your goods, you'll be taxed
at the gate.
At the gate
before you enter into the city.
That is why customs and excise duties.
The borders.
Custom and excise duties. They have taxes. There are charges that you have to pay to sell your goods. And from the profit, before you leave the city, you still pay to leave the city. So tax is as old as that.
Yes.
So it is normal. But when policies are formulated to cheat the people, it becomes unfair.
But Barrister, I want to ask you, these policies that you have mentioned, will they be intentionally put in place to chip the people, Or, just like Kedei has said, it is the information that the people have that has deterred them from either doing the right thing or tilting the right way.
What is chairman's tax?
I don't know about that.
What is community chief tax in the market?
And those levies?
But they call it taxes. Now, what is the levy for? A chief is sitting in wherever they sit. And you don't say to sell in this market, you have to pay this tax. You have to pay this levy so that the chief will have something to eat.
But I thought from the medieval era, that was what was in place. You paid to the king so that the king...
Okay, that's why the language tax and yangambong, that's tax they help chief.
I didn't know. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that they use it. Tax and yangambong.
Okay, that's an effort.
Yes, that's an effort state. Owole.
That's the Yoruba
Nothing boba.
Okay, yes.
Owole, nothing boba.
Yes, sir.
That is the land money is what we use in feeding.
Yeah, the welfare of the king.
The king.
Yes.
But when those policies are made in such a way that you don't know where the money is going to, it becomes wrong policies.
Now I get your position.
You understand me?
Yes, sir.
That's where it becomes inequitable. Where men have the capacity to fight back, but the women are oppressed. That is the inequitable level of these charges, levies, and taxes. So that's what we are talking about. Because at the end of the day, it is the woman who is selling small wares that the young thug, so-called tax agent, goes and arrives, collects her tray, and throws the goods into the gutter. So if she doesn't sell, where is she going to get the money to pay the charges that you are demanding over? So the taxation most times is inequitable as it concerns women in the informal sector.
Okay, so now with that said, Barrister, let me go to Kedei. How then, because that is what the concentration is, how then do we equitably tax women, knowing and going by the analogy of the match viewing that Barrister gave to us?
Okay, how you equitably tax women?
Both in the formal and the informal sector. Or let us just put a concentration on the informal sector first.
Informal sector. We know most of these women, at least from the things the businesses they operate, you can have an idea of what they tend to or what they can actually make at the end of the day from the businesses and all of that, And we could also try to reduce overtaxation on these women. Yes, you wouldn't expect the woman who is selling vegetables or leaves or fruits even by the road, you come every other day, you tax them based on this or that. You could reduce the amount of taxes placed on them, yes, you could reduce that. And then even when it comes to the levies, and I think basically it's just a tax reduction, because they are overtaxed by different forms and names, levies and all the sorts, know. Meanwhile, you know that these are low income earners and there's no how they can meet up with this amount you say. But the women now, when you stand to see 2, 3, huge rugged looking men come to you and ask for, you may just give them to go away, because I don't think any other woman every day can actually stand that size. So just for the sake of, let's not deal with this trouble and all of that, you just settle them and let them go on their way, So most of them don't really have that ability to fight back. So as much as they come, as much as they ask, you just keep going, you just keep paying and all of that. I think governments can also try to simplify the tax systems, and then financial literacy as well.
Financial literacy?
Yes. Most of these people are not really informed. They are not aware. They don't know. I know some women, especially in that category, when it comes to finance and stuff like that, they tend to shy away. They see it as the thing for the men and all of that. So there is really no interest, to try to know what this is all about, just something simplified for them, so they know at least when you come, they can actually stand up, and then I think that's just basically it.
Okay. Now with that position said, Barrister, I will now come back to you because she talked about financial education. Some of them don't have it.
Yeah.
So I would ask, what role does tax education play in ensuring that women in the informal sector understand their rights and their obligation and what to pay, where to pay, and when to pay?
Thank you for that jam question. Where to pay and when to pay.
Yes. Because wasn't it was talked about that every 15th?
No, calm down.
Okay.
Calm down. You see, I think this is the 8th episode we are working on this program. So, if the citizens have been listening, they will know that we started with presumptive tax.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. I remember that.
We started with presumptive tax. Because we want and we are educating people about the existence of presumptive tax. Okay?
Yes.
And so the role of this information, education and communication is for them to know where to pay, when to pay, and the provisions of that presumptive tax law. We have used about 4 episodes or 5 episodes to explain part 1 to 5.
Very true.
Even the schedules and the amounts that are involved.
Yeah. I remember some set of people get to pay as low as 1,500 a year. Some people want 3,000 a year.
3,000 for big businesses that we never envisaged. And so the existence of that law is also reducing the burden especially on women and persons in the informal sector.
Okay.
To also know that, look, if you adhere to this law, pay and get your receipts, anybody that approaches you thereafter is in trouble. Because at the end of the day, you show him that I've paid my taxes, they have no reason to ask you or multiply your taxes. So the role of information, education and communication is very key. Education, communication and information play a key role in making sure that people are taxed fairly and people pay their just taxes. So it's not Harvard studied. It's on the street.
But what about those women who are not educated at all?
See, there's nobody who's not educated.
Okay.
Everybody is educated.
But just educated in a particular area?
Yes. 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 I lived in Yoruba land. The Yoruba old woman does not speak English, but she reads the way Heroine.
Yes.
She reads the Yoruba newspaper.
Newspaper, yeah.
Is it not literate?
That's literacy.
She's literate in Yoruba.
Yeah.
The woman who cooks and sells food cannot speak English or do anything, but she cooks the food that the English-speaking man and woman enjoy. Is she not literate in her cooking? She's not the chef in her own at her own level.
Yeah.
So everybody is educated. The woman that sells, does she mistake the change she gives to you?
No, she doesn't.
So is that not education? Eh?
Financial education now.
It's just basic bookkeeping that she does not have capacity for. She does not have capacity for basic bookkeeping. But being educated in what to pay you, in knowing her profit, she knows how much she makes, but she cannot keep that amount she makes because she doesn't have the capacity for basic bookkeeping. You know, I keep explaining The woman that sells akara, the children come and say, Mama, we want to buy pencil. She goes into that thing and remove the money. We want to buy exercise book. She goes into that thing and remove the money. So at the end of the business day, she has just the amount she used in buying the previous day. And she goes and buy again. That basic bookkeeping practice is not there. These people are educated. If you speak with them, they will understand you. We just need to speak more. We just need to speak more. It's direct communication. And these people will understand what you are talking about and adhere to it and make sure that they do what you tell them to do. They just need more information.
More information. And that's exactly what this platform is providing them.
Yes.
Alrighty, Barrister, we'll go on a very short commercial break, right? And when we return, we'll have a whole lot of other questions that we'll want to push across to both you and Kedei Ubi, who is here with us in the studio. And we're talking taxation and gender equity. And the objective to this discourse is to address challenges for women in the informal sector. If you're in that informal sector, when we return, we'll open the lines for you to contribute and ask valuable questions, like questions that affect you directly. Don't go nowhere to touch a dial. We'll be right back, people.
We talk everything. Health, education, finance, sports, transportation, agriculture, politics,
entertainment,
people and power. On Let's Talk Nigeria. Let's Talk Nigeria. Every day of the week from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Only on Sparkling 92.3 FM Calabar. Your radio, your charm. We talk everything. Health, education, finance, sports, transportation, agriculture, politics,
entertainment,
people and power. On Let's Talk Nigeria. Let's Talk Nigeria. Every day of the week from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Only on Sparkling 92.3 FM Calabar. Your radio, your charm.
Welcome back, beautiful people of Nigeria and the ancient city called Calabar. It is Let's Talk Nigeria, broadcasting live on Sparkling 92.3 FM, your radio, your shine. And earlier, before we went on that very short break, we were in a conversation with Kedei Ubi and Barrister Williams Itorok. And the reason for this conversation is to draw us closer to some of the challenges that women in the informal sector are faced with, particularly on taxation. And we've been talking about the equity in taxation, and part of why we have this program here is to educate those who are out there of the need of you to pay tax and also for the government to tax equitably. And before we level, we're still back and forth about should there be anything special that should be done to women. And I now want to go back to Barrister Williams because he was the one talking. But anyway, so our lines are open for you to call and contribute, ask your questions as well. 080-923-00022. I'll take that slowly again. 080-923-00022. Alternatively, call 0812-723-7060. Or because of the way network has been, you can send us a direct message on 080-923-00022 or take to social media. Same number, 080-923-00022. Once you send that in, we will hear from you. But then let us take our first caller here in the house. Hello, good morning. Hello, can you hear us? Hello? Alrighty, because of network, you can take to social media or send us a direct message or just persist with your call. You never can tell. We might just get lucky to hear from you. And back to Barrister Williams. Barrister, I want to ask, but no, let me ask Kedei here. Kedei, do you think women's voices adequately represented in policy making? Women's voices, are we adequately represented there?
Maybe to an extent, yeah. To an extent.
No.
Yeah, maybe to an extent, yes. I know there are lots of women or female advocates, and in most cases, it's not just about the number of the women now. some women are really loud. Like one woman can actually speak as loud as 10 women. Like she could actually advocate that strong.
Yeah,
and also
is one of them. Or was one of them.
That's,
hold up, Ken. I'll come back to you. Let's take this caller. Hello, good morning. All right, good morning to you. Nice to have you. Your name and where you calling us from, please?
My name is Mop. I'm calling from Manitoba.
All right, go ahead.
I tried to make a finding about this being overtaxed, and I got to find out one thing, that the taxes were from the local government. So I wanted to ask, is there any measure that can be put in place to make sure that some of these taxes from the local government are being meshed together instead of them being overtaxed? Because you see so many agencies coming from the local government. And another thing I want to ask you is it that any top official from the council or maybe the state government are not to pay tax in their business place? Because one of the findings I made was that most of them don't pay tax, being that they are working in the local government and some in the state government.
All righty. Thank you very much for that call there. Barrister, are there tax exemptions for people who work with the government or work in a local government?
No, there are no tax exemptions. There are no tax exemptions. They pay their payee.
They pay their payee?
Yes. It's from source.
Okay, now I get it.
It's from source. But you shouldn't be confused with profit tax. If you are working in the local government, you pay your payee. If you own a shop in the market, you pay the tax based on your profits. If you own a business, you pay taxes based on your profits.
Okay.
Yes. So you are not exempted from paying taxes because you are working in government. Government pays you and deduct as source. If you are doing business, you pay your tax.
Okay.
Based on the business you are doing.
Hello, good morning, Sini. Good morning to your guest in the studio.
Good morning to you, Nemeka. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
All right, Nemeka, let us hear.
Okay, my first question I want to ask, when you talk about this community tax, who should actually collect it? Is it the local government authority? Is it the community? That is the first question. Then the second, I have a situation whereby taxes are paid according to when you pay tax, it's being apportioned to the appropriate quota involved. Now you see taxes like affluent like for filling stations and all that.
House rents for filling station.
Affluent.
Okay. Effluent. So
yes,
that's
when they collect these taxes, do they actually do anything on the air to filter this fume that they are collecting this money for? I've not seen any case like that.
Okay.
That's now another.
All right, Nemeka, let us just take those questions one at a time. Barrister, you just made mention of one that I don't know. Did you say effluent?
Effluent.
What is that, sir?
Okay, now if
Nemeka, just hold on. Let Barrister answer that.
I think you can ask the question.
You can ask. Okay, go ahead with the second one then.
Okay.
Nemeka, are you there? All right, the network. All right, back to you, sir.
Effluent. Now, if you are doing a business that you discharge chemicals.
Yeah.
Not this year, chemicals into a public drainage system.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you pass by flour mills,
yeah,
you perceive the odor that comes from the waste material from what they use in making the flour. But I found out that it's actually not from the flour mills, it's from the top feed.
Okay, yeah.
There's top feed by the side.
Yeah.
So the effluent, the water, the wastewater that comes from the production of those materials, the feeds, is what is called effluent, because it seeps into the public drainage. And so for the inconvenience, the company is taxed.
So that they can clean that out.
They can clean it out. They can clean it out. That is just for both environment and sanitation.
Okay.
Do you understand? So that is effluent.
Okay.
There's a tax on that.
There's a tax on that.
Yeah.
Let us take this other caller, Barrister. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. Nice to have you here with us. Your name and where you calling us from, please?
Okay, my name is Rosalind, calling from Calabar South.
All right, so go ahead, Rosalind.
Good morning, Barrister Williams.
Good morning.
Okay, so my question is, I have a business. Though the other day I was in my business premises and a group of persons just walked in. They didn't even ask me how much I earn, the profit I make in my business. I have a computer center. They just walked in and then they gave me a paper. They said, that's my tax. I need to go to so office to pay the tax. Is it the right thing to do?
Okay.
I'm not supposed to know, ask me the profit I make and then pay my tax according to the profit I make in my business.
Okay.
So I don't understand what they're really doing.
Okay, so let Barrister respond to that. Barrister, how do you respond to that?
Her name is Rose?
Yes, Rosaline.
Okay, Rosaline. Okay, thanks for calling, and this it's very important that we are very happy you are listening to this program. The issue is, get the paper, go to the office. Tax is negotiable. Before you pay, explain the profits you make, explain your business, and especially with the existence of presumptive tax, you will find out that you are not even supposed to pay even half of the money you are being charged. So, yes, they can bill you anything so far there is an office they say you should go and pay to, and especially if it is the Internal Revenue Services. So we advise people, if you are served a demand notice, because that's what it is, and you are told to go and pay authentically, that may be the real people who are supposed to collect the taxes from you. The good thing is they didn't tell you, pay us this so that we won't come again. Those are fakes. So if they say that, you go to the office, is negotiable.
The IRS.
Yeah.
And go negotiate your tax.
Yeah, negotiate your tax. And explain your profits
to them.
And make sure you have the records of your profits.
Okay. Our lines are still open for you to call 08093000022 or 08127237060. And then Mecca, welcome back. Let us hear. What's your position this time around?
Okay, yes. I also want to get a clarification on these items I want to mention.
Go ahead.
You have economic development levy.
Those are levies. Okay, go ahead.
Then you also have business development levy.
2.
You also have operational permit.
3.
All these things are on one particular, maybe say, trader to pay. You pay for operational permit, you pay for business development, and you also pay for economic development. All this, to me, all this is not a duplication of taxes.
Okay. Well, first off, Inameka, let Barrister help us with the differences between taxes and levies. Let us just understand that first, yeah? Who do taxes go to and who do levies go to?
Well, it depends on the person serving you the demand notice.
Okay. Alrighty. Barrister, just hold on, right?
Okay.
So that let's take more calls so that you can answer all of that.
Sorry.
Hello, good morning, Jenny.
Yes, good morning. My name is Jenny.
Alrighty, go ahead, Jenny. Let us hear you. Where are you calling us from, though?
Please. Okay, please. I've heard your guest several times talking about how the citizens or as they normally call themselves in Nigeria, it is a massive duty to pay their tax. I've not really heard what the government duties are, because especially in my community where I come from in Cross River here, tax people go as far as inside that community to collect taxes from farmers. You understand? But there are no roads, there are no water, there are no infrastructures, no basic amenities for those communities, but they go there to collect tax. Will those people in that community now come to Calabar to come and hold them on their neck for them to provide them with those things? We are not even talking about how we can even, in fact, hold the government ransom to provide amenities for people who are paying tax. All we talk is let people pay tax, is the obligation to pay tax. And I read about tax. I hated tax with passion. Even the fact that it is something that is collected by force. If it was not willingly, nothing would have made my 1 naira to drop for anything called tax. Thank you.
Thank you very much. How do we correct this whole impression and have the people do the right thing?
The people do the right thing?
Yes. Now, because from the angle she's coming
what are the
from,
people now?
No, from the angle she's coming from,
yeah.
The people pay their taxes, and because of that, they expect the government to reciprocate by bringing the infrastructure to the place. Yeah, but since they are not seeing the infrastructure, they're like, there's no need for us to pay the tax.
It's deeper
than just that.
It's deeper than just that.
Okay, let me hear you, Barrister.
You see, when we talk about taxes, it's people seem to think that it's like I am William, and I'm sitting as the governor. I'll be one day.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, and the government is collecting taxes. It is as if it's brought to my table, and for whatever it's worth, I now particularly look at my village. For instance, say, oh, I'm from Oban in Akamkwa. Oban people have paid 20 million. Let me use this to make an earthen road for them. But it's not like that.
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
Okay, so tell us, sir.
Yearly, you have what is called the budget.
Yes.
You have what is called the budget.
Yes.
And now from the budget, we first of all talk about revenue. We talk about what comes in and what we are going to use, revenue and expenditure. Now we also talk about internally generated revenue, which is coming from the taxes, charges, and levies. Okay? Now the budget will first of all look at what we are going to generate internally, and then try to budget using what we are generating to develop the communities, the local government, and the generality of the communities in the state. And so the revenue for this year may not necessarily do everything at the same time. It may spill out to the next year when we are going to have the next budget, which is a law. But the budget is the law that is promulgated, passed every year.
Every year, yes, I know about that.
So at the end of the year, you see that development moved from one place to the other. Over the week, this week or the past week, we had the governor going through the state, looking at projects across the state. It is not every local government that has those projects. But I want to correct an impression. We are a civil society group. We don't come here to tell people just to pay tax. Maybe because we don't shout and say, government, know how you collect taxes from people. Don't overtax people. Maybe that's what I should be saying. Whenever I come, maybe I should have a jingle that says, government, don't overtax people. Know how you tax people. Also develop their communities based on their taxes. But it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. Which is why we are also working on fiscal responsibility. Fiscal responsibility from the government. That when you get people's money from people, be responsible and develop the communities based on the money you get. And so we don't just come here and say people should pay tax. I want to erase that impression that says you hate taxes with passion. You are the same person who is going to be asking, because some last 2 years or 3 years ago, I was here at this station when I said, I don't subscribe to people being exempted from taxes.
You don't?
No, I don't. Because your rights are infringed upon. You have no voice. Because whoever is leading you, when you go to ask for infrastructure, for free healthcare for children 1 to 5, they will tell you there's no money because you don't pay tax. We advocate for fair taxation. No matter what it is, don't overtax people.
The people, yeah. Thank you very much. Well, more calls are coming in. Let's see if we can take more.
Yeah, let's see.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. Nice to have you here with us. Your name and where you calling us from?
Yes, I'm Elder Ikang, calling from Calabar.
All right, so go ahead. Elder, let us hear.
Yeah, I want to thank the governor for his right focus on security matters. Because without security, there can be no meaningful and sustainable development. Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Can hear you, please.
Yes. On the issue of the vehicles, the operation of work vehicles.
Sorry, pardon us. We are talking tax and taxation here. Pardon us, please. Wrong pitch. Please, we're talking tax and taxation. Find a way of relating with us here. 080-923-00022 or 08127237060. Both of those numbers will give you access to us. We're talking tax and taxation, and matter of fact, the concentration is on taxation and the gender equity to address challenges of women in the informal sector. That's just exactly what we're doing here. 08127237060 or 080-923-00022. Now let me go to Kedei. Kedei, Barrister here just talked about how he doesn't believe in tax exemptions and all of that, but then I would want to ask you, so what policies should be implemented immediately to make taxation more gender inclusive in Nigeria so that we can address Jenny's issue?
Policies to be implemented immediately. Policies are things that take a while. Policies are not things that you just come up with and then just sit down and implement immediately. You take lots of things into consideration and then get into developing it, looking at the people it's going to affect. And also, if I'm going by your question, policies that should be implemented immediately, I may not really have a direct answer there for you, but I feel like we could like we've been talking about tax reduction and also doing away with multiplicity of taxes. We could also provide access to microloans for people doing business. It's just that the other challenge is most of these people do not really have like an operative bank account and stuff like that. Otherwise, it would have been very easy for them, and then they can also transition into the formal sector, because you find out that people in the informal sector, the business just keeps going round and round and round. They are just there. There's hardly like any form of growth. Like you see this woman who has been selling fruits last year, she's still just selling fruits. So there's like really, really, really no growth there, So I think access to credit facilities, social protection services for them, to protect them against all this exploitation and corruption. That is if we're talking immediately. Other kinds of policies are things that would take a longer time based on certain considerations and that.
Okay, very, very beautiful, I would say. Barrister, another concern for me here is, shouldn't the government, or should the government consider collaborating with women-led business groups in the markets or around to design fairer tax regimes for them?
If they're ready, the government will collaborate. And take note that whenever legislations are being made, there are usually public hearings
about it.
About it.
Okay.
every law that is made, there are public hearings about it. And so what we advise people, what we encourage people to do, what we encourage groups, whether men, women, or youth groups to do, is to make sure that they watch out for the laws that affect them, so that they can go and impute into such laws and policies that are being developed.
Okay.
Because for any policy to work, it must be legislated upon. You understand?
Yes.
It must be legislated upon. And so when these legislations are taking place, there is a need for the various groups to monitor the House of Assembly. And when they hear this announcement, they shouldn't be reluctant to go there, because it has effect
on them. Well, we have this message here. It says, "Hello, Sparkling FM. My name is Mike from Scanobo. Please throw more light on these questions. Many women in the informal sector have low literacy level. How can tax education be improved to ensure they understand their obligations and rights? 2. What measures are in place to protect women in the informal sector from harassment or extortion by tax officers and tax collectors?" All right, but let us add this caller as we just wrap it up.
Okay.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Can you hear us? All righty. Barrister, you then have to answer both of those questions. The first one is the first one, according to the question here that was asked by Mr. Mike, he said here, many women in the informal sector have low literacy level. How can tax education be improved to ensure they understand their obligations and rights? That's the first question.
Yeah, for the low literate persons, I think we have to use their local languages.
In making some of those brochures and those...
No, forget. Look, I keep telling people, and people keep arguing with me. Somebody has low literacy, and you are making brochures.
Pictorial brochures?
Perhaps. But I think speaking more to them.
Okay, in their own language.
In their own language. Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking more to them, communicating with them. Look, we just waste money writing on brochures. I want to write tax information in a folk language. I want to write in Bekwara language. I want to write this. How many of us really read our languages? Because it is meant for their children to read and interpret for them. Those ones who are in low literacy. We are not asking them to read, but their children should read and explain to them. But how many children sit down to read those things? I think we should use the radio. We should use the television.
Okay.
We should use direct communication with people. Town hall meetings. For God's sake, I mean, go to the market. Get a megaphone and talk to the people in the market.
But in the 21st century, is it still applicable, the megaphone thingy?
Oga, carry something, put on top of motor, stand for market. How do they sell otapia? How do they sell rat medicine?
So we use that same measure?
Yes.
Will it be effective?
My God. Just keep it there. The person will pass the first day. The second, as he passes, he hears the message. They may not stand
to listen.
But as they listen to it, they're passing by or close to their shops, they will have the information. All this, don't litter the place with paper. That's why I see people say they are doing crusade. They will be littering the street with paper. Why don't you just tell people the venue?
Rather than give all those papers.
Give all these papers.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Barrister. And you needed to see Barrister's face while explaining that. Conclusively, Kedei, let's get to ask you, what will be the best for women, since you're representing them, when it comes to taxation, just to easy things out as we call it a wrap?
Okay, what would be easy for women? Simplify the tax registration processes. Because now we're talking about women in the informal sector. No woman who wants to leave her wares by the roadside or by the shop and want to go through so many rigorous processes just to do tax registration or payments and also a very simplified tax payment system, would be good, and then financial inclusion as well. And then, like we're talking about education here, access to financial literacy or education on their tax obligations and what's expected of them, I think that sums it up.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, Barrister Williams Itorok, for coming. And it looks like this is the wrap of it for the month.
Yeah, I just have to ask. I have to ask if we have any extra. Timeouts. But if we have, we'll come again. If we don't, we'll arrange for more.
All right, sir. I like that one. Thank you very much, Barrister. Yeah. It's always fun having you around, and the explanations that you give, it goes a whole long way to just ease us. And Kedei, it was our first time seeing you, but you really represented the ladies.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right,
I'm glad I did. Thank you.
All right, Crossovarians, this is where we draw the curtain and we say thank you very much. Austin Williams or Chika saying whatever it is worth, ensure that you pay your taxes and do it the right way. Pay to the right people. God bless you all.